Hi, this is Marrow, Matter of Action, and today I have with me Armando Escalante, our field coordinator for Florida and Alabama. How are you doing, Armando?
Doing good, Wayne. How are
Great,
you?
great. Thanks for coming on. I just wanted to have people listening and watching to understand maybe some of the processes, because you have such a diverse group of people in Florida and Alabama. And I live in Central Florida as well, so I see the demographics changing all the time. And so I want to learn a little bit about how you get the message out, because you have a large territory. And what do people really want to know from your experience? So think about that, and maybe you want to share that with some of your learnings over the last year or so.
Well, what people want to know is what can we do to stop the tyranny, to stop the movement towards totalitarianism? That's the thing that they want to know, and they always ask that question: what can we do? What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing that's on their minds. That's the primary thing that's on their minds. So, and what I tell them is that that the first thing they need to do is they need to understand. I usually like to use Sun Tzu as an example. That if you don't know your enemy, you don't know yourself, that you're imperiled in every battle.
Sure.
And I try to help them see that they need to learn and understand and get into more depth of understanding of liberty, our Constitution, the principles in the Declaration, and then also to learn about what is it that we're really facing? It's much bigger than Republican versus Democrat,
Right.
liberal versus conservative. Really, it's a battle between good and evil, and they need to understand that, and they need to understand how the enemy works.
Sure.
Because if they don't understand how the enemy works, and they're very, very good at subverting the conservatives in particular, because that's the target that they're after. So
I agree. So saying that, because that's really a big spectrum question, is that what tools then do you use? Because as I travel about, most people think they're all alone. And I tell them that's not true, because that's all part of the enemy's plan to think you're isolated.
correct.
But what tools have you found really worked? Because you just said most people want to know what's happening, but that's a big chunk. So what are some of the tools that we have available in the Birch Society that kind of take them along that path?
Well, we have, Overview of America is a very good tool because in 30 minutes, they get a real good, clear understanding of basically a course in civics. And it's done in such a way that it's very understandable. And if you watch it a few times, you'll get the opportunity to really understand and grasp the basics. And then from there, you can begin to start to basically develop and strengthen your understanding and go in more depth. So I encourage people to do that. I do some speaking engagements, speaking on, whatever issue they're interested in. Usually when I do those, I bring in Overview of America and then help them understand, and I give them an understanding of the enemy, and I give them some of the materials that we have. We have a lot of different books, the New American, I give them that so that they can begin to understand how the enemy works, because, our society does a pretty good job of explaining that. So,
oh, sure. But one of the things you mentioned is that the Constitution, so we have that course, Constitution as a Solution, and it goes through a 6-part series. You may want to explain to folks listening or even watching, is that how that process works, because it's been a very effective tool, hasn't it been?
oh yeah. When I was first was exposed to that video, I would just ate it up, and I showed it to everybody that I could. This is even before I came into the society. But it really gives you a real good, solid, more in-depth understanding of what the Constitution means and those things that we never were really taught. And it goes through, obviously Overview of America. It goes into neoconservatism, how that is a fraud. It goes into, different things. And then at the end, it goes into and offers a solution to the how we can be more effective. But essentially, the things that you learn in that particular series, it gives you a strong secondary foundation that you can springboard to really be more effective. Because if you don't understand the form of government that we have and the principles by which we're founded, we're just swinging in the dark.
Right.
And we have to understand that.
Right.
And that particular series does an excellent job of exposing the enemies and giving us a strong understanding of our form of government and the principles by which we are founded on.
Yeah. So in my experience has been most people don't even know we're a republic, right? They
Exactly.
think we're a democracy.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to know the foundation, right? You have to know the foundational principles. In a republic, it's not semantics. There's a whole difference. And so that tool really works. And it's interesting to maybe share for a few minutes some of the responses you get from people after seeing the basic tools that we give them. My experience is that they go from applauding to shock. They didn't know anything. And what has been yours?
The same. They're blown away. They're blown away when they watch Overview of America, and they're blown away when they watch Constitution as a Solution. They come and they buy it. They buy Overview of America, depending on the audience. If I have a 20-person audience, 19 of them will come and buy it. Right. If I have a 100-person audience, 90 of those buy it. Right. So they're just so amazed that they didn't know what's in those videos, and they want to just take it and just absorb it and then take it to their friends. Right. So my experience is the same as yours. They're just amazed at what they learned. Right. I never knew that. I never knew that. Right. I never really knew that. Right. So it's really good.
Yeah, hungry for information and truth. Huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we deliver in the Birch Society. Lots of truthful tools. You mentioned the New American Magazine. We've got the new one here. Socialism, Jackpot, everything's free. This is a good one. Just came out, and we have another one coming out another week or so on China making your medicine, and those have been good tools. And we also have the JBS Bulletin that members get. And so maybe for the remaining couple of minutes is that how do you get people from the knowledge base to be a member and get them to be activists, Armando?
Well, I usually try to explain to them that we need you. We really need you to be in the fight, because all of us, liberty is not an option. If we're going to be a free people, we must fight for it, and we must be engaged. And we all have a civic duty. Right. If we were living in a tyrannical system, it wouldn't matter because the king has all the rights.
Correct.
But in a system where you have a free people, well, we have to maintain that freedom, and the only way to do that is everybody must be engaged in one shape or form. So I encourage people to do that, and I'm not afraid to really ask them to join. I just say, look, we really need you. Join the society. You won't regret it.
Right. And they could do that on our website on the www.jbs.org, or get an application from our coordinators in the field, which have 18 or so. And we have that monthly bulletin, as you can see here. And as I mentioned, one of the highlights is September 17th, next week. And you have anything special you're going to do in the school for the Constitution Day, for the few seconds we got left?
We're going to organize a few people to go into the schools and teach the Constitution during Constitution Week. And in that particular day, because it depends on the schedule of the teachers, usually we have a few days within that week that we could present. So that's
that one day we can do that. Legally, we can talk about the Constitution.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal opportunity.
It's exactly. And we've I've done that over the years, and I've gotten quite a positive response from students because I make them think. And when I present these ideas, and I present liberty and the Constitution, I really try to get people to respond, and rather than just telling them what it is, I engage them as much as I could to get them to tell me what they think. So
All right, thank you, Armando. I appreciate you coming on and explaining
You're
what's
welcome,
going on
Lane.
in Florida and Alabama. Good work. Keep up telling the truth. Until next time, your part matters. I'm Wayne Marrow. See you next time. Thanks.